Okay, it's Tuesday, November 23rd, and today was a very interesting day of trading that started out poorly but ended up very good. And you can see here I'm showing all the stocks that were traded early on. There was Lucid, Checkpoint, APVO, Coinbase, and I'll show you in a second why those trades didn't work out. But then things, I traded APVO and I re-entered a few trades in Dollar Tree. And actually there were other ones here. And I wrote them all down on a card here, all these different stocks you can see here that I traded. So what I wanted to do is just go through the charts quickly and kind of show you each trade, just sort of how they unfolded throughout the day. And the big lesson here is that, I was pretty aggressive early going in 4 trades and all 4 were losers. Now, many times when you enter 4 in a row, quickly, it's not like every you can't pull the trigger that fast on all 4 of them. So they're kind of staggered a little bit early in the session. And normally 1 or 2 go, if you're going to have a poor start, 1 might go up, 3 might go down, 2 might go up, 2 might go down. Sometimes they all go, you obviously get them thinking all are going to go up. But in this case, all 4 reversed and went lower. I had to take a loss. But then there were other good charts and it ended up working out very well, which I'll show you. And that's kind of a good example of even on maybe one of the worst starts you can have, as long as the losses are small and you stick with the plan, you're going to get it back at some point. In this, for today, it happened very nicely just during the day. But I just wanted to go through because it just shows you the importance of a lot of things here relative to the trading plan. And so just for example, like Lucid, this was the first stock I recall trading. You can see here it had a nice 15-minute bar heading up. So that looks great. That's what you're looking for. The second bar actually started to continue, but then it reversed and came below the midway point of that first bar. So I had to take a loss. And you can see for the rest of the day, it went much lower, rallied a little bit towards the end. Context-wise, this is the daily chart. I'm seeing kind of an inside day here and an uptrend, a big green bar the day before. So I'm thinking, that this stock, I track it, is ready to make another push higher, which I still believe it is, but today wasn't the day. So anyway, that's loss number 1. Then Checkpoint was another stock, very similar, that I believe on the daily chart here, you can see here, it's kind of a triple top, but it's holding here. And it's eventually, in my opinion, going to break through unless price action says otherwise. But today, so that first green bar went up and then it looked like we were following through. But again, like the other stock, it kind of fell pretty quickly below the midpoint of the first bar. I had to get out. And thankfully I did, because you would have had a much bigger loss. So that's 2 small losses. And even on this chart, just to show you on the 5-minute chart, I really like this setup, especially we were coming here, the first 5-minute bar went up, then we paused on the second one, which is a great opening pattern, and then I got in a little early here before the 15-minute bar closed, and we started up for 2 more bars. So it really looked like it was going to be a good trade overall. The 15-minute bar closed green. We even started higher on the next bar, but then that's what happens. The odds, it was a decent trade set up, but it just didn't work out. So that's 0 for 2. Then there was a low price stock that was one of the pre-market APVO. And this is kind of an interesting situation here that I'll get into, but I like the pre-opening. There's been a lot of activity lately in low float, low price stocks. So this one had a nice gap up, and then it was kind of just drifting lower prior to the open. And you can see here we started higher on this first 15-minute bar. So I bought it there. I'm trying to remember if I did it on the 5-minute bar. I remember. The first few bars here wasn't even the first 15-minute bar. They were just kind of pausing, which is actually a great setup. And I bought this breakout right in here. So I probably bought somewhere as the first 15-minute bar, this was ending, and the next one was beginning right up in here. But again, it just immediately kind of came down and I had to exit. Now on this stock, because I continue tracking it, the key here, so I'm out now. Let's call that 3 losses in a row. I'll show you the 4th one in a second, but I was tracking this, and when this came down, I still like the whole concept. It's a low float stock. that was gapping up on heavy volume. And then once it started up here green, I bought it again. And you can see what a tremendous gain that was. That stock went from 9.30 all the way up to 20. And the target here was these overnight highs around 14.5. So that's where, that ended up being a great trade. So I don't have to go back to it again, but just showing you that, like the other stocks, it could have went down all day. Many do, in this situation, these low price that don't start out strong. But I followed it. I like the way it held support. It curled back up above the, kind of into that first bar. And then I gave it a shot. Now, it was going to be a very small stop again if I lost, but in this case, it was a big winner. So that's a good, very good follow-up trade on that. And then finally, the final stock that was Coinbase, and I didn't even necessarily want to trade this because I know the context on the day. I follow Bitcoin and its related stocks often. I knew we had a big red bar from yesterday. We're near possibly support, but this wasn't the day based on this red bar that you're going to really necessarily go up. But there was, a window up to the midpoint of that bar, and then just to see if maybe it would reverse. And when I saw the strong open, I just decided, all right, I know the window is right here if I move to this kind of, midpoint of yesterday. So I was able to get in early on this 15-minute bar. I had it up here, and then as it started coming down, again, I had to take a very small loss. I just didn't, I knew that was a resistance point. For some reason, I didn't take profits when I might have had them early. And again, it was just a very small loss. So I didn't trade it all the way down to here. But once you see these two bars happening and the context isn't great, then the midway point of both of these bars is kind of where I look to exit. So it was just, the fourth trade in a row that lost, and I wasn't looking to re-enter this or anything. And then, after I had those four losses, like I said, the APVO stock, I got back into that, worked out very well. And when I looked across the board, there was a Dollar Tree, DLTR, which had a very good open here. And I saw it just consolidating. And when I looked at the daily chart, I said, wow, this stock, and let me show you here, I found that on the scanner today. That's where I found Dollar Tree. Up here early on, it was giving me good reading, very good change of price, good ranking and everything. So when I looked at the chart, I said, this is a really good opening with just consolidating. I'm going to buy it here. And I expect this first bar high to be taken out at some point. And obviously it went much further than that. And on the context on the daily chart, I love the way we were just pausing here for like 4 days and breaking out. So that's usually a good signal of built up energy and possible strong continuation. And that's exactly what you got. And it was the same thing with APVO today. Once I, again, got out of those early trades, I saw that this chart was opening up really nice. And then when I went to the daily chart, I said, wow, this is breaking out of this big sideways action right in here. And that's a great context signal for eventual continuation. And to me, this stock is now going to work its way up to these, 121 highs, but we'll find out. It ended up with a nice green day today breaking out. So again, it was a trade that I was able to get in, and then I was able, because it grinded up. It didn't go, I wish it would have, moved nicely, but somewhere in here I took a small profit on the day. So it's something that if it was swing trading it, I would stick with it. But since I just day trade, I got out, and I'll keep it on watch tomorrow if we have some kind of good opening, because I see that it really should work higher. So just wanted to point all that out. Again, showing a few key principles of how I stay aggressive early at times. Sometimes I wait and watch, go to the watch list and look for stocks that are moving well today. But I always trade the good patterns. And, you have to take your small losses. And when you do that, inevitably there are plenty of good trades right around the corner. So that's what I wanted to point out. Interesting day today, and a little bit lucky that some of the trades the secondary trades I got into moved so well, but that happens too. I also missed a few trades today that I could show you as well. So there's always going to be, it's never perfect, but anyway, today was just a good example of bad start, but a good day overall.